Welcome to day one of Write Your Bestseller Challenge. So this week today, we are talking about your ideal client, your ideal reader. What are the hot topics to write about? Now, tomorrow, we will then move on to talking about what is your signature brilliance that you're going to add to your book. On day 3, we are going to be working on your outline for your book utilizing ChatGPT, because once you have your outline, it's really easy to just fill in the blank. And on day 4, we're going to be using ChatGPT to interview you. I'll teach you exactly how to make that work. It's really awesome. You can get your book done 1 hour a day, 1 chapter a day using ChatGPT. It's really pretty brilliant. And then finally on day 5, 7 ways to make real money with your book. For real. Like, what's the point? You're not just going to be throwing a book out into the ether, right? We want book sales and we want high conversion into our course. So let's talk about money on Friday. Today, we're going to get really super clear about 3 things. Clarity is absolutely key. When you get clear on these 3 things, your book becomes very easy. And honestly, it makes your business really easy too, because it makes your marketing really clear, your messaging super clear, what you're providing clear, your price point, all these questions can be answered. Here's the thing about clarity. Answering these 3 questions. 1, who is your ideal client/reader? 2, what result do you want them to get from this book? And 3, what do you want to leverage your book to do? So I'm going to give you an example, probably the most common type of example, which is when you want them to go into your online course based on your best-selling book after reading your book. That is the most common thing that we see of the result that you want them to get. Not just the book, but what do you want to leverage the book to do? We want to leverage the book to get them into our online course. So the book then is just the beginning of the conversation. So when you look at who do you want in your course, who is your ideal client, then you can answer who is your ideal reader. And the result you want them to get from the book is just the beginning of the conversation, just to get them started, a little sampling of you, a little sampling of your course and what's up to come. So keep that in mind, okay? Now, that sounds simple enough, it makes sense, but then when you actually have to answer it, you struggle. Happens every single time. When I run through my 90-day bestseller formula, I kick everyone off with a clarity hot seat session, because getting this clarity is so key. And what I most often hear is, my book is for everybody. It could help everybody. And that's probably true. But the thing is that when you're talking to everyone, you're talking to no one. And what I mean by that is when you have to tell all the different versions of the story for all the different people who could be reading, it muddies the waters. And nobody feels like, oh, they're talking to me, directly to me. This is for me. It's, oh, I could get a little piece of here and a little piece of there, but it's not personal to me. That makes all the difference in the world. So I'm going to give you a great example. I hope this sticks with you. It's stuck with me since the first time I ever heard it. So I'm from the Portland area. I'm currently up in the Pacific Northwest, near Nike. And when Nike has a new shoe that comes out, they set aside one room in the building for that shoe. And on one wall in that room is their avatar, their ideal client. So they give her a name, a face. What are her hobbies? What age is she? What is her job? How much money does she make? Is she a hobby runner or is she a professional athlete? What's her favorite color? What are her favorite foods, her favorite music? Where does she shop? What does she enjoy? All of these things about this person, okay? The reason they do this is because they can then answer every question. What kind of material do we use in the shoe? How durable is it? Well, if it's for an athlete that makes 100K plus, it's a much more expensive, more durable shoe. If it's for a hobby runner, for let's say a mom in her 30s who has toddlers at home, they know they're going to make it a less expensive, easier access shoe. Maybe it doesn't last as long, but she's only a hobby runner. And they're going to advertise during the daytime because they know that she's at home with small kids. So she's probably watching afternoon shows, whatever, right? So they can answer all the questions because they know who their ideal client is, and they become a beacon for that ideal client. Now, can you imagine if they made a shoe for everyone? Everyone. We've all had a pair of Nikes at some point, and we all looked at the wall of Nikes and went, what color do I want? What style do I want? Which one fits me better? Which one feels better? Which one is more suited for me? But what if they only made one shoe for everybody? Ugh. They wouldn't be the giant they are if that's what they did. So don't write one book for everybody. You need to write one book for your ideal client and call them to you like a beacon. This is not your last book. This is just the current book. This is just who you want to be known as for the next 6 months to a year. This is just who is your ideal client for the next 6 months to a year. This is what do you want to be known for the next 6 months to a year? What are your goals? So getting this clarity is everything. After that, you can pivot and do another book or launch another segment or anything else you want. But getting this clarity makes everything so easy. So inside my course, I even have a clarity sheet that gets detailed about like how much money does your ideal client make? Because often I see people who are seeking to help those less fortunate, but those less fortunate can't afford your prices. So first and foremost, your ideal client can afford you. So it's important to know how much money they make and where they work and what their schedule is so that you can plan your system around that. If they're corporate people who work 9 to 5, then maybe your classes are evenings and weekends, right? If you're targeting people who work at home, then maybe it's during the daytime. So it's important to know these things so that you can answer the questions of where do I find them? How do I market to them? How do I close a sale? If you know these things up front, you can then write the perfect book for them. So let's assume that you now know your ideal client, that you know the result you want them to get from your book, generally speaking. We're going to dive deeper into that. And that you want to enroll them in an online course. There are other things that sometimes people are leveraging their book to do, but the most common one is an online course. So let's just go with that today, okay? I am going to share my screen and I'm going to pull up ChatGPT and I'm going to share with you a simple basic exercise that can help you figure out the hot topics in your niche, the hottest things that people are looking for, okay? Because it's different for everyone. It's this great combination of what are you really brilliant at? Who are you best at helping? Who do you enjoy working with? Who enjoys working with you? Who is seeking you? All of these things, right? But then, you know, I could teach them 10 different things. What do I write my book on? What do they want to know? What should I start with? Here's an easy way to brainstorm that and really get some accurate information. So let me go ahead and share screen. All right, so here is the prompt for today. Now, for the sake of this exercise, let's say that your ideal client is women over 40. Pretty general, but at least it's something, right? Because how you would speak to a woman over 40 who's looking to empty nest, who's looking at her next level of life, is different than how you would speak to, say, a college student or a recent grad. You would speak to them differently because they have different experiences, they have different concerns, they have different goals, right? If that person's right in front of you, it is easy to have the conversation based on who you see they are. In a book, you need to have the conversation as if your ideal client is standing right in front of you. So let's say in this case, our ideal client is women over 40, because how you would speak to a man, how you'd speak to a woman, the age, their concerns, all different, right? So for the sake of this, we're just going to say women over 40. Let's say I want to be a little bit general here. I'm glad to get specific with those of you individually. We can set up a call. You can put in the comments here and I'll answer you here. However you want to do it, I want to help you get your answer, truly. And then when you have that answer, I want you to post it in the Bestsellers Guild at the end of the day, okay? But let's talk about what is your general area. So let's say their general concern, these women over 40, is finding their purpose. How about that? Finding their life purpose, okay? So this is something I'm sure you already know that's a general answer. Okay. So now we're going to copy and paste in here, and this is our prompt down below. Acting as a market research analyst, provide the top 20 questions, ideal client, that's going to be women over 40, ask about, copy and paste, finding their life purpose. I'm going to copy that prompt. We're going to go over here to ChatGPT. Hello, chat. Let's ask a question. Here we go. Brilliant. Love it. So now, as it gives us these 20 results, we can look through and say, this sounds great. This is one I really like. This one resonates with me. Or we can go deeper and then ask chat, give me more information about the things that they want to know about question number 2 or something like that. And we can dive a little deeper. Or if we don't see anything here, we can then ask, okay, give me 20 more. Let's just do that. Give me 20 more. And then when this is typing, I'm going to ask it one more question and we'll wrap up for today. Okay, now let's ask. Okay, so I asked it, based on the current internet info, what is the top question? So now I'm asking it to actually go search the internet. And I love when it does this and it gives 2 different responses and you get to choose which one you prefer. And then you get to go down that. So what activities or tasks bring me the most joy? What are my core values and beliefs? What am I passionate about? Okay, so they're getting it from different sources of information. This source here, or a couple different sources here. And you get to choose which response you like and go down that rabbit hole. I prefer this response. So there you go. So I hope you found this helpful. Go play with ChatGPT to figure out what is the best topic for you. What I can tell you right now, though, is as we're going into a new year and with all that this new year holds, after the holidays into the new year, people are seeking. They are seeking love, money, whatever they missed over the holidays, or whatever they missed as soon as the holidays ended. When the holidays are upon us, we often get wrapped up in the excitement and family and everything else. And then when the holidays end, real life comes crashing back down. And real life is about to get, oh, so real this January 2025, right? Many changes are coming. Whatever they happen to be, we know the changes are coming, right? So people are going to be seeking you more than ever. How are you available to your ideal person? It's very important. This is why writing a best-selling book is the number one most impactful thing you can do for your business, because you stand out in the crowd as an expert, as an authority, and it is easier to leverage your book into things. It is easier to leverage your book to have them get into a course based on my best-selling book, instant credibility, getting into the media, getting on podcasts, getting on television. When you have a tangible book, it is so much easier to get on television. Getting on stages. There are a lot of stages now that they only have best-selling authors. That's their minimum level of standard. So if you don't have a best-selling book, no matter how brilliant you are, no matter how many years you've been speaking professionally, and I'm saying this from experience, seeing it actually happen, they won't give you the time of day until you have the best-selling book. It's a minimum standard now. So what do you want to be known for the next 6 months to a year? That's what I want you to decide today. Okay, get your clarity. And your assignment for today, there is a post in the Bestsellers Guild. And in that post for today's day one assignment is, what is your clarity? What are you writing about? What is your topic? When we know this, we can move on to tomorrow. And then we work on to, what is your signature in this area? Okay, so ask me any questions you like. I hope you can join me tomorrow with any of your questions as well. I'm always here for you. Have a fantastic day and keep writing.